problems like that, like Hannah, never give up in becoming intimate with your husband. Man, never give up in becoming intimate with your wives. Because one of these days, you don't have the time. It is the Lord that has the time. He knows when He is going to bless that union with the babies. So if at certain point in time you allow strains, you allow loggerheads and contentions to come in between you, and you stay out of intimacy, that time could be the appointed time of God. I'll leave it there. And I believe that you have taken a cue from it. Yeah. So let me try to wrap up now by giving some points. I mean, restating some important points. Check it. Our marriages can be healed and can become better regardless of the problems we face. Don't you agree with me? Our marriages can be healed. Some of us are in broken marriages. Our marriages are on the verge of collapsing. We are in a bitter marriages. But I came to assure you that our marriages can be healed. Our marriages can become better regardless of all the problems we face. So what are we supposed to do? Let us learn to, number one, let us learn to compromise where and when possible. In order for us to get our marriages healed and make our marriages better, what we need to do is that we need to learn to compromise. Wherever and whenever possible, let's compromise. Marriage is full of compromises. If you are in a marriage and you always take entrenched position, you least or you hardly compromise, then you are not helping the marriage to stabilize. Every now and then, somebody must compromise. That is how we build marriages. Compromise. Where it is possible, do it. Compromise. When it is possible, compromise. There are people in marriages who have taken a position that they will never compromise. All the time they expect their partners to compromise. As for them, they have decided that they will never compromise. Please, you are no more a human being than the other person. Both of you were made in the image of God. And you hold equal rights and privileges in the marriage. Your partner is not your slave. So, if he has been compromising, when it comes to your turn to compromise, you should also compromise. It brings beauty, color in the marriage. Learn it. We need to learn it. Number two, let us learn to allow mutual respect. If we want our marriages healed, we want our marriages to become better, let us learn to allow mutual respect. Obana oko ware no don nti na oko ware. Be ma no o don nti na ware no ada na wumu no. Mutual respect. Look at Elqana. Elqana respected Hannah's opinion. And Hannah also respected Elqana. You see, when Elqana had to convince Hannah in order to bring in a second wife, Hannah respected Elqana's opinion. Said, okay, fine. If that is what you want, please go ahead. And please note, I'm not encouraging polygamy. So don't take my words out of context. I've not said that. I'm talking about marriage where we must respect each other's opinions and ensure that there's mutual respect. In the case of Elkanah and Hannah, this is what happened. So I'm using it as just example. Your case will be different. Your context is different. What is happening in your marriage is different. But I'm saying that in each of them, let us learn to allow mutual respect. Respect your partner, and then your partner to show respect. Number 3, let us learn to respect each other's space. Space. Yes. Everybody has his space. Sometimes in a marriage, you need to respect your partner's space. For example, if for some reasons your partner tells you that, please, I want to be alone. It can happen. Say, please, I want to be alone. And you realize that it is not for any bad reason, because nothing has happened in the house. The person is not planning to commit suicide. You don't sense anything like that. And he said, please give me some time. I can't cannot be conversing with you now. Please give me some time. I want to have some time to think. Please, sometimes let's allow it. It's important. Let's allow. It's not something that should happen all the time, but once a while, if the partner is requesting for it, please, I want some silence. I want some silence. Allow. Because when you marry the person, you have not bought him. Huh? Mommy, when you marry the man, you have not bought him. When you marry the woman, brother, you have not bought her. She is not a good. She is not a property you have bought. She is a full human being. A person on his or her own. It is because of agreement that you have come together to live together. You must understand that. Sometimes it's the men that have this problem. I married you. I married you. I married you. How much did you pay? How much did you pay? No money can be as equal as the value of a woman. So let's stop all those kinds of things. Let's respect the space of our partners when it becomes necessary that the partner needs it. Respect each other's opinions and decisions. Yes. So even those of us who are Christian, if it so happens that on a particular church service day or time, your partner said, please, today I will not go to church. You can keep on asking and say, please, why is it that you don't want to go? And I've already talked about that the other person should open up and give tangible reasons. If he gives the reasons, sometimes you should allow. It will serve you better than to stand there and fight with him or fight with her. The person has taken a decision not to go to church with you that day, and you are standing there fighting. So at the end of the day, who will go to the church? So if your wife or your husband, he said, I won't go, you have tried to persuade him or her for some time, and she is not yielding, leave her and go. Maybe by the time you return, her heart might have been healed. And then you go on, you move on. That is how life is. There's a certain funeral. You want to go with your wife or your husband to go and greet, and then your husband said, please, I'm not going to that funeral. I don't feel like going. The husband should be reasonable in giving tangible reasons. I've already touched on that. But if you persuade him or persuade her and the partner is not willing, do not let that one generate fight in the marriage. Remember that I have thought that you should allow the person to have his space. So at that particular time, he wants to have his or her space. He doesn't want to be at the funeral grounds. So bid him or her goodbye and go and come. Yeah, this is what we are teaching you. Because that's what we all go through. In the marriage, you must grow. That is why it is experienced people that must become counselors. People who have gone through the things and they can share some of the things they themselves have practiced and have helped them. As for today, you will go. This funeral, you can't say you won't go. And you spoil the marriage. You have to ask yourself that, is it because of funeral that you married? The answer is no. So if the answer is no, then leave the funeral matter. The marriage first. The marriage is more important than the funeral. Yeah. So there are many things we must be reasonable. Think about it. So if this my partner, he doesn't go to this funeral and I go, what will spoil? If nothing will spoil, go and leave him or her. But if you become compiata and you said, I am the man, today you am carrying you to the funeral grounds. Hey, you want trouble, eh? You want trouble in your home. You will go and settle all the people in the funeral grounds, and when you come home, there is fire on the mountain. Is that what you want? Hey, if I were you, I will live in peace. So that by the time I return, there's peace in my home. It is better. Penifo se wo ya ho be ma bebira ye kugya wo. Papa Boama. Na me ye be ma na me na ye den. That's why I have earlier on talked about compromise. Where it is necessary, when it is necessary, compromise and let peace prevail. That is marriage for you. Marriage is like roasting corn. You need to be turning it every now and then. You need to be turning the corn. Or else you have a burnt corn that you cannot eat. What are we supposed to do? Let us learn to open up on unpopular positions that we take. Let us learn to open up on unpopular positions that we take. When you take an unpopular position in a marriage, open up. Like I have just given you the examples. We are all supposed to attend this funeral. And then you all of that sudden you tell me that you won't go. It is an unpopular position. Because I thought that I was going to the funeral with you. I thought that I was going to the church service with you. So if you decide not to go, it is an unpopular position. Open up. Tell me why you don't want to go. And then you, the other person, the partner, if your partner tells you why he or she doesn't want to go, accept it. Let it be enough. Let it be enough. On many occasions, let it be enough. If you have something to challenge his decision, you can do it. You can bring it. That's marriage. You should also share your opinion and say, please, I don't think the way you are thinking is right. I think that it should be this way rather. You think about it. If you do it this way and that way, what about that? And then share. But if the person persists, he resists that, he won't go, she won't do. Allow that space. Allow her space or his space for him or her. For the sake of peace. So Jesus said one time that if someone requests to go a mile with you, go 2 miles with him. So because we know consider back one and then come here, that is Jesus. That is for the sake of peace. Number 5, I suppose. in order to heal our marriages. Let us learn to work positively and hard to improve our marriages. Yes. Let us work positively and work hard to improve our marriages. Marriage is work. If you don't work on your marriage will not work. Yes, nobody will work your marriage out for you. God will not work your marriage for you. You need to work. Work at it. Hannah and Elqana, they were facing challenges, but each of them worked. Everybody did his or her best. You could see Elqana loving the woman, giving the woman his best, caring. And then Hannah giving the man her best, respect, obedience, being a good wife and all that. Just as I've shared with you, everybody played his best or her best. They were working on the marriage. They wanted to stabilize the marriage in the midst of the turbulence. Work on the marriage. No spiritual water can heal your marriage. Spiritual handkerchief, spiritual paraphernalia can heal your marriage. Nothing. It is work. If you go to collect spiritual water and then you come home to misbehave, your marriage will be deteriorated. Finally, let us learn to keep our momentum of love and respect constant. Let us learn to keep our momentum of love and respect constant, even in the face of unforeseen circumstances. Though we may be facing unforeseen circumstances and troubles and challenges, let us learn to keep our momentum of love and respect constant, no change. Yes, you may be facing one challenge or the other as I speak. My counsel is that keep your momentum of love constant. Keep your momentum of respect constant, even though you are facing challenges. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 18, Apostle Paul exhorts us. In Ephesians 5:18, and I quote, he says, and do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit, addressing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody to the Lord with your heart. Hallelujah. Yes. When you are going through challenges in your marriage, Bible said that be filled with the Spirit. There are some men, when they are going through challenges in their marriage, they begin to get filled with alcohol. They tell themselves, oh, mami ko bukakra, na me make it kabinchireno. Let me go and drink small alcohol so that I can speak my mind to this woman. It will not solve the problem, man. It will aggravate it. And all those of you who have experienced, you know that what I'm saying is true. It does not solve the problem. Many men who resorted into drinking because they think their wives were giving them problems, they have ended up losing their marriage. The women have left them. The Bible said you should be filled with something. Be filled with the Spirit. And then you see, when you are filled with the Spirit, now you begin to address each other with psalms and spiritual songs, not with insults. People that are filled with the Spirit of God and they are in a marriage, even in the face of troubles and challenges and problems, when they are talking to each other, they speak with care. They thoughtfully speak. They don't speak anyhow because they are people who are filled with the Spirit, addressing one another in psalms and hymns That is it. It may not be physical songs, but like the words that will come from you will be sweet, like a song or a hymn. When you are going through challenges and you speak anyhow to your partner, what you are doing is that you are adding salt to injuries. You are making the matter worse in the life of your partner. Praise God. Verse 21 of Ephesians 5. He says,